Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A vote that's likely to change the city of Berkeley in a big way is just hours from taking place tonight.
New information emerges in a gruesome mid-Michigan killing involving a dating app.
And newly released video reveals what happened inside a local sports bar that led to the death of a local father. The video makes it clear this was not a bar fight.
It was basically an attack on a man who never saw it coming. And after the punch was thrown, he was left unconscious on the floor of Capone's bar in St. Clair Shores. Coco McAvoy live from the bar with what the Macomb County prosecutor now has to say about it all. Coco.
Yes, Prosecutor Smith is saying this case really bothered him because of the way that the victim was attacked. And we do have the surveillance video from the bar. Now, we're not showing it in its entirety because of the sensitivity of this case. A father did pass away from that punch, and his family is really struggling. An atrocious crime inside of Capone Sports Tavern. A sucker punch, killing a loving father, Sean Kubik.
It's an egregious crime and it's a capital crime, and we're going to make sure that we get some justice for our victim here.
Surveillance video shows what led up to the punch. Prosecutor Eric Smith says there was a disagreement between Kubik and the man across the bar. Then he says the man's friend, Hatum Akrawi, does the unthinkable.
He waits until the victim is looking away and strikes him and essentially kills him right then.
The video is difficult to watch. It shows Kubik unconscious after being punched.
When it first happens, he falls to the ground. Nobody does anything.
In fact, Akrawi's friend who had the disagreement with Kubik makes it worse.
He takes his drink and throws it on our victim, who is unconscious.
That man is now facing charges too.
So when he throws that drink, we charge him with assault and battery.
The bouncer eventually checks on Kubik, who passed away from a brain injury days later.
This is right before Christmas. This guy at a bar who has a child, has a family, is killed and in such a heinous way.
Now Akrawi is charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter and could spend the rest of his life in prison. And the name of the man who threw the drink has not been released yet because he has not yet been arraigned. Police are waiting for him to turn himself in. Back to you.
So, Coco, you mentioned, and the prosecutor mentioned, a disagreement between the victim and the man who is now facing charges for throwing the drink. Do we know what that disagreement was about in the first place?
So we asked the prosecutor that question, and he said they're still trying to figure that out. They don't know what that disagreement is about, but the prosecutor did point out that you can see in the video it does not appear to be a heated argument of any kind.
No, whatever it wasn't worth a man's life. All right, Coco.
Definitely not. All right, in Shelby Township, an investigation is underway after a shooting in a parking lot. Take a look here. This is video from the scene at the intersection of 23 Mile Road and Shelby. Police sources say the shooting this afternoon was between family members. Right now, one man is in the hospital in critical condition. The alleged shooter has surrendered to police. No word on what led up to the shooting.
It's been a years-long battle that appears ready to be settled tonight. The Berkeley City Council expected to agree to negotiated terms with the Vincetta Garage, a very popular Woodward Avenue restaurant where people have had to valet their cars or find street parking. Business editor Rob Maloney live tonight with how that could all change soon. Rod?
Well, Devin, you know, it didn't seem so long ago that Vincetta Garage was the place you brought your car if you had a classic car for the Dream Cruise. But in 2012, believe it or not, it became the restaurant, and they have had parking problems every day since. And it's been a real fight with the neighbors, which now appears over. Over the past 7 years, it's been a pitched battle. Neighbors demanding new site plans, not wanting parking lots in their neighborhood at all. Adam Simpson's one of them.
I don't like it at all.
On the other hand, it's hard enough to build a successful restaurant with a full array of parking. Somehow, Vincetta Garage did so with short parking while making new plans, buying up neighboring property, looking to use it, filing suit because the city refused its rezoning request a couple of years ago. They mediated and negotiated, and finally, there's an agreement. The restaurant can knock down 4 neighboring homes its owners own, but they'll build 2, not 4 parking lots that they wanted. The restaurant owners will have to build new homes on 2 of the lots and a wall separating the parking lots. Berkeley City Manager Matt Baumgarten calls the settlement the best of what you could expect.
It's not perfect. I think anybody would say that. That's the thing with a settlement, is both sides have to give a little bit. But given the array of options that we had in front of us, we think this is the best of the options.
Neighbors who fought so hard and long still are not happy. Living next door to the lots where the new homes will go doesn't make Adam Simpson feel much better about this deal.
It's going to lower our home values. If you take a look at these houses over there, they'll be looking directly at a parking lot that wasn't there before. It's much better than maybe having abandoned houses.
Now, I can tell you, when we sit here and we're working on a story like this and people come up and knock on the window wanting to register their complaints, you know that things are bad and people were not happy about the settlement. As it stands, though, the Berkeley City Council is getting ready to gather right now, and looks like they'll be making their vote, and it should pass here in the next hour or so. Back to you.
And I'm going to guess, though, Rod, that you heard quite a few theories about what's behind the settlement.
Yes. Well, what the belief is, and it certainly makes perfect sense, is that this is getting expensive for the city. The city was looking for a way to end this thing and stop the bleeding in terms of legal fees. And so it would appear that the neighbors think that's exactly why this ended the way it did.
It feels like it's been going on for ages. All right, Rod.
Well, we're learning more about the murder of a man from the Flint area whom police believe met his killer through a dating app. Priya Mann is live with the new information in the case of Kevin Bacon. And Priya, we heard a few of the details at 5, and it is difficult to listen to.
Yeah, Kim, this is a really disturbing story. Days after Kevin Bacon was reported missing, police found his body in the home of this man. This is Mark Latunsky. Police say the two met on a dating app and say Bacon endured severe trauma and his body was mutilated.
It was just so good, and he didn't deserve this.
Tiara Hill says Kevin Bacon was her best friend. The 25-year-old was found dead last month in Shiawassee County. During his funeral, Hill says she wrote a poem to honor her friend.
That was extremely hard to go up there and do, but it was something that I needed to do, and I really think that he would appreciate it.
Bacon was reported missing on Christmas Eve after family and friends couldn't reach him. Days later, authorities searched the home of Mark Latunsky. Police say Bacon met the 50-year-old through a dating app. They found Bacon hanging from a rafter. His body had been mutilated. Latunsky was arrested and charged with Bacon's murder.
It breaks my heart. I want everybody to just be more aware. Just know, like, everyone thinks like this can't happen in your community, but it can. It can happen to someone you know. And I just want it to bring awareness and really make people think twice about who you're meeting and what you're doing and the information you give and all of that.
Dozens of people attended Bacon's funeral service last week.
He was just always so friendly and nice to everyone he met. He always could put a smile on anyone's face.
Friends say the entire community is grieving the tragic loss of this young life.
You can tell just by looking in there that there were so many people that even if they weren't part of his everyday life, they're going to be affected by this.
I think a lot of people are going to hurt for a long time. It's going to be something that's hard to get over.
Yeah, it truly is a disturbing case. Now, this isn't Latunsky's first run-in with the law. Back in 2013, he was charged with kidnapping 2 of his 4 children. Those charges were later dropped. He remains behind bars and will be back in court on Wednesday. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Just awful, Priya, and we will be following it on Wednesday. Thanks.
Former UAW Director Vance Pearson is expected to plead guilty to embezzlement charges connected to the union's corruption scandal. Local 4 has learned Pearson is now charged in an information document, meaning that a guilty plea is likely coming. This new charge accuses Pearson of embezzling union money for things like golf, very expensive cigars, and clothing. In November, the UAW International Executive Board removed Pearson from his position, stripped him of his union membership. In a statement, the UAW says if Pearson misused union funds, he blatantly violated the oath of his office.
All right, now to the latest on the green ooze investigation along I-696 in Madison Heights. Crews from the EPA were on site today at electroplating services. They were taking soil samples to determine how far the hexavalent chromium has spread. Those results are expected by the end of the week. Meanwhile, investigators say they found no hazardous materials today at a second property in Deckerville. Back in Madison Heights, cleanup is expected to last a couple of weeks.
Meanwhile, there's an update on the petroleum pollution at Macomb County's Red Run Drain. This is what the spill looked like on Friday. The Macomb County Public Works Office says up to 100 gallons of petroleum, possibly gasoline, went into the Shaner Relief Drain and then floated on into the Clinton River. The Public Works Office says its investigations couldn't find how the petroleum got in the water, but it will continue to be looking for any clues over who might be responsible. Today, while the water looks clear, there is some leftover petroleum products still visible there. Booms are going to stay in the water until that spill is completely cleaned.
Time now for a check of the national stories you'll see ahead at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News.
Lester Holt live in New York City with a preview of what's coming up tonight. Hi, Lester.
Hey, Kim and Devin, good to see you. Coming up, we've got chilling new details about the last day of a murdered mom's life and the suspect she called one of her oldest friends. Plus, new innovations meant to make our lives easier, but there are some privacy concerns that come with them.
Yeah, and that's for sure. Our lives and homes have increasingly become connected to some type of device.
Yeah.
In my case, many types of devices.
Yeah, we're talking to machines. Our refrigerators are talking at us. I mean, more people are getting these smart homes and appliances, but what are those things collecting about us? We're going to show you some of the hottest new products out there and talk to you about your privacy when we see you on Nightly News.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it, Lester. We appreciate it.
You'd have a long talk with your refrigerator. That's right. All right. That's coming up here at 6:30. Other news here coming up at 6. Lake Superior State puts out its annual list of banned words. It came about a week ago. Today, Wayne State came out with a list of terms you may enjoy adding to your vocabulary.
Yeah, we'll have that coming back. You're actually going to love that one because you're a words guy.
I love it already.
And some of them they're pretty interesting. We'll have that coming up. Here's Ben.
I've got a lot of words that we probably don't want to repeat coming in this forecast, but the streak is coming to an end. That's our top story. Late week is getting messy, and the weekend could get intense. We'll look at all that coming up.
Okay, Ben. And next, Dr. McGeorge is back with a look at why this flu season is proving to be uniquely dangerous for children. We'll be right back.
Manon Rayon spent a career breaking down barriers. No was not an answer she'd accept.
My dad never told me that, but most of the coaches were telling him, we're not going to take a girl at that level. Don't bring her here.
She will start the second period.
In 1992, she broke the ultimate glass ceiling and changed professional sports.
Stops the first shot, the rebound cleared.
Now, nearly 30 years later, she's still the only woman to ever do that. How she's paving the way for the next generation tonight at 11.
What time is it? It is taco time. There's a small Macomb County spot serving up big Mexican flavors. Tasty Tuesday, 6 a.m.